Hey there, Big Cash crew. ADP back with you here once again for a very special episode of ADP's Forex review. I hope you all had a fantastic week trading crypto and Forex as well. So yeah, we got some really cool pairs to look at, some exciting stuff in the marketplace for this week coming. So let's get into the show. Beautiful. So let's kick off today with the NZDUSD. Cool, so we're on the NZDUSD and we're on the 4-hour chart. So last week you can see that down here we had this encounter with this major support zone here, and then it pushed us right on up. The bulls went on a pretty serious run over, actually this is about 2 weeks now. But we've encountered resistance, and we did break through this management zone we had up here, but then the bears have kicked back in. You see a really, really large bearish candle there, and they're not done yet. They're not out of the resistance, out of the management zone, but we're looking for more potential bearish evidence and hopefully another move to the downside. So what we're looking for is a good entry point. I'll just put this in here. Oh, just format that little guy properly. Excuse me. Excellent. So we're looking for potential bearish evidence in this zone, and should we encounter where we're looking for another push to the downside, which should come down in this direction. Now you guys can see, if I just get rid of that for a moment, you can see that in this recent history, this has been a pretty choppy market, and it hasn't been these really nice smooth moves. So should we encounter some bearish evidence up here, and should we have a push to the downside, I would be looking for sort of points of resistance on the way down, and you might see, you know, a slowdown here, down at this area, and then back down to this sort of major turnaround point down here. But hopefully that's what we have this week. All right, let's press on to the USDCHF. Cool. So we're on the USD Swiss, and we are on the daily chart. Now with this one, guys, this currency is very much in a bull run. If we go right out, or a bear run, sorry. It's moving to the downside. You can see the trend line. I'm looking right at it. Anyway, let's get rid of this guy and just blow the chart back up. So in recent memory, we can see here that these management zones have really worked well as really great guideposts for where we're going. We can see stop, pause, bit of a bounce back, and then a further push to the downside. Now at the moment, you can see here that on Friday, the bulls did put in a bit of a move, and it was a fairly strong move. That's a sizable candle, especially for a daily. But we really want to continue with the trend. So what we're looking for is actually bearish evidence, but we want to make sure we're trading off of this resistance point. So we want to be on the lookout for sort of a move up, back up to this management zone, which is a great turnaround point. Great place for us to continue on with the bearish trend. And then once we encounter this zone, or should we encounter the zone, I should say, because no one can really predict the future, but should we encounter the zone, we really want to be on the lookout for some really strong bearish evidence and to go back to the downside and continue on with this trend. So this may take, judging by the volume in these candles over the past week or two, this could take, you know, the whole week to get back up to this point. But keep this one in the back burner. That is a good point of turnaround. Let me just get rid of that. It's a good point of turnaround with this pair, and we do want to be looking for that bearish evidence and a continuation with that trend. Nice one. Let's kick on to the AUDUSD. Cool. So we're on the AUDUSD and we are on the daily chart. Now with this one, you can see here that it's basically just about to complete a little head and shoulders pattern, which is pretty exciting. We had a good bit of resistance, or I should say, there we go. We encountered some good support down here at this great turnaround zone, and it acted exactly as we expected it to. And then the bulls pushed us back to the upside, and we had a bit of slowing down there on Friday, and even here you can see here this isn't a really convincing candle on Thursday. Even with that said, this one we're still going to be looking for evidence of a push upward, but let me just get my thoughts in order. We're looking for a turnaround point because this one's been sort of reacting off of these resistance lines the same way for a while. So what we want to be looking for is a push upward back up to sort of somewhere in this region. We've had a couple of times it's tested it, and both times the bears kicked right back in and said, nope, not today. Should we reach this region, we want to be on the lookout for that bearish evidence, returning to certainly this area here, or perhaps even down to this turnaround point here. So this may take another couple of days to play out, depending on volume in the market and that sort of thing. But this is what we want to be on the lookout for. And should we get back to this point, I mean, if you see here, it keeps testing it over and over, and it keeps pushing us back to the downside. So let's be on the lookout for a move back up to this region, and then we'll find our bearish evidence, and hopefully there'll be a good trading opportunity for us. Cool. Let's move on to the Euro USD. Nice, so we're on the Euro USD, and with this one, we are on the 4-hour chart. Now, price action on this guy's been pretty fantastic. At the end of last week, we can see here that we encountered once again this management zone. We had a not so convincing bearish candle, and then bang bang boom, we're pushing to the downside. Now with that, there's quite a bit of momentum happening here. We'll probably see a bit of a continuation with this guy open Monday morning when the markets open tomorrow. If that does happen, though, this has been such a great point of turnaround. This bullish management zone that should we encounter here, actually that's just the wrong color, isn't it? Because what I'm talking about is going on a bull run. So should we have that further push from the bears to the downside, and should we encounter this zone, we want to look for a good signal, but we see 1, 2, just in the recent memory, we've got a good turnaround point here. So should we encounter this region, we want to be on the lookout to move at least back up to these lows here. Excuse me, highs here from a couple weeks ago, and potentially going even higher. We really want to be looking for an opportunity to go all the way back up here to the previous high. But yeah, we do need to look out for that turnaround point and look for a good entry, and then yeah, hopefully we'll have another really exciting bull run. Cool. Let us wrap up today with the GBPUSD. All right. So we're looking at the GBPUSD, which is affectionately known as the cable. Now, with this guy here, we've talked about this quite a number of times, this pair, guys and gals. It is very much on a bullish trend, so we're looking for obviously moves to the upside. We've encountered here this point of resistance, and it's pretty serious. It tested it twice over the last 2 weeks, and we've been pushed back down. But once again, the bulls have just said, nah, we're going back up. So at the moment, it looks like there's still quite a bit of momentum. We did end the week on a bearish candle, but even with that, we could see sort of a continuation of the move. Even if we do have a continuation of this move and we do encounter this zone here, there is a good chance, let me just change the color quickly. Because this is such a great countering zone, there's a good chance that if we encounter this one again, we could be looking at another push to the downside before we see another really big push to the upside to continue on with this really long-term bull run. So just be cautious with this one this week, guys. You can see here there has been, some days with not a lot of volume, which we could have a few days of serious consolidation like we had here in recent weeks, where there's just not a lot of really good stuff, just a bunch of crappy candles. But yeah, with this one, we're really just looking for the end of this little move here, and then should we encounter this resistance and turnaround zone, we'll probably see another shift to the downside. At least there's a potential there, and we want to be on the lookout for that bearish evidence. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Love having you here. Love doing the Forex reviews. Make sure you get your charts all set up for tomorrow, so when the market does open, you're up and at 'em and you're ready to go. Rich will be back tomorrow to do all things crypto, and I'll be back on Tuesday to talk about altcoins and ICOs and all kinds of other fun stuff. Give us a like, give us a share. Check us out on the Facebook and the Twitter. Y'all have a lovely Sunday. I will see you soon. Peace.